God knew you needed to see this. Okay, so if you haven't heard, Jake Paul is fighting Anthony Joshua. As you can tell, Jake Paul is definitely not as big as Anthony Joshua. And on paper, the clear winner of this fight is Anthony Joshua because he's way bigger. He's a heavyweight champion. He's been fighting for years. While Jake Paul has only been fighting for a couple years, he's smaller. And it seems obvious that Anthony Joshua should win this fight, right? Does this remind you of a Bible story? David versus Goliath. I'm sure you know this story. Now, Goliath was huge. He was like 10 feet tall, and David was just a teenage shepherd. He was a little jit. But here's what made David different. David might not have had the size, but he had God. And when David went up against Goliath, he didn't talk about how dangerous Goliath was. He talked about how great his God is. And listen, I don't know what you're going through on the other side of this screen. Maybe you have a giant you're up against. But I'm here to tell you, stop telling God how big your problems are and start telling your problems how big your God is. Because nothing you're up against is bigger than God. So I don't know what your giant is right now. Maybe you got a giant bill, a giant addiction, a giant heartbreak, a giant failure, a giant loss, a giant fear, a giant situation you don't know how to fix. Maybe it feels impossible. You're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to overcome this. But listen to me. Nothing you're facing is bigger than God. David didn't win because he was strong. He won because God was strong. And when you really realize you have God on your side, you don't get scared of nothing because whatever has to face you also has to face God. And God never promised us an easy life, but he did promise to be with us in everything we go through. And he's not only with us, he's for us. And if he is for us, it doesn't matter who or what is against us. If the sea couldn't stop Moses, a giant couldn't stop David, the grave couldn't stop Jesus, then nothing and no one can stop you or God's perfect plan for your life. So honestly,
how could I be afraid when I got a God who defeat the grave? When I got the same power in Jesus' name. When I kick a demon like a FIFA game. When they come for me, it just feed the flame.